Well, thank you, Craig. Well, hello, Unlimited Wisdom family and members and also friends. Welcome, Mary. Great to have you on here. Melody, Coach Bob, Lisa Marie, Michael, and Angela. Of course, my beautiful wife Terry. Mama Bear. You guys probably seen the new title that she's got now, Coughing Mama Bear. And then, of course, the hostess with the mostest, Craig Jackman. Thank you very much. And so for today's daily wisdom, it's going to be, get in where you fit in. But I'm just like, I thought that I'd put together a little video of where to start, start here. So people always go, well, I don't know what to do now. And so I'm going to just give a little things of what people should do. And the very first thing that I would say when you're talking about starting here is, again, the first analogy should just be the one that you keep thinking about. Of course, when you log into Unlimited Wisdom, you start looking around. We have like 3,300 videos. We're constantly adding new content each and every day. So, hi, Jim. Thanks for jumping on. So, really, what you want to use this analogy is all the time is I remember when I heard this, but it was just like, how do you eat an elephant? It's really, really hilarious when you think of that because if you needed or wanted to eat an elephant, you just go, where do you start? You know what I mean? I just don't know where to start. And the phrase is one bite at a time. One of the ones that I feel like I really like, and I tell people, if you want to do a little homework, watch What About Bob? And I know I put that out there, and Terry and I watched it the day we talked about it. And it just talked about everything that he did was called baby steps. He would say that I'm going to baby step out the door. I'm going to baby step down the steps. I'm going to baby step out the front door. I'm going to baby step to the bus stop. And so if you're taking just one individual step, and Craig, you might be able to find this for me. But Martin Luther King had this great, great, great analogy where it would say, it would show a whole staircase, and it was going, it's impossible to see the top of the staircase, but if you take one step at a time, there was actually a saying in it. So you take one step, and slow but sure, you just keep going up the steps until you're there. And so one of the things that I would say to each and every one of you too is that if you just take it in small chunks. Craig, you want to say that?
Faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase.
Yeah, I was pretty close there. So thanks, Scott, for jumping on. Thank you, Eddie. I really appreciate you being on here as well. And so as you go through your journey on everything, the one thing that I do find is that, again, a lot of people that I've always sat down with, I help them imagine a better future for them and their family. And again, what you want to do is you want to imagine something that could be very, very simple that you could implement right away. Because the hardest thing about overwhelm or being frustrated or being confused, all these words that we use to procrastinate. How many of you have ever procrastinated? Some of you will think about it and raise your hand later. It's like, so or make a comment later. But the whole point of that is if you don't know what you truly truly want and you don't find something small that you can imagine, then what you're going to do is each and every day you're just not going to act. And I thought of this analogy because I used to use it all the time. But it'd be like I want you to think that if I really, really did this, because you'll watch people go through all these thoughts of not doing. And what I mean not doing is just procrastinating, making up excuses, doing whatever. But we're all human beings. So you shouldn't beat yourself up for putting things off or procrastinating because that's just the human part of you. And so I say to people all the time, what if I told you that I would give you $1 million? I'd give you $1 million if you can prove to me within the next year that you could have a conversation with someone and learn a new language. And I'll even let you pick that language. So imagine that you have this conversation, you get to pick when you get to do it. You have that conversation, and then once we see that you have a conversation with somebody, then I'm going to wire you $1 million. So now watch how fast little stuff goes through our heads. The very first thought a lot of people may have is he would never give me $1 million. There's no reason for me to even try because he wouldn't do that. All right, well then let's get a couple lawyers and we'll sign it and I'll notarize it so then you know that I will do it. And then people go, yeah, but it doesn't make a difference if he has a contract and it's notarized. He wouldn't pay it because he's got enough money to fight. You see how many people just keep finding an excuse? So they say they would like $1 million or they'd like to earn income, but what they'll do is every time they get a chance, they'll find another excuse. Well, then there might be a group of people that go, I don't even think he has $1 million. So it'd be hard for him to give $1 million if he doesn't have $1 million. And the excuses go on and on and on, right? But when it finally got down to it, if you believe that I would give you $1 million and that I have $1 million, now we go through a bunch of other little steps, right? Okay, what language are you going to learn? I'll make a good suggestion here. Do not try Hungarian. All right? There's not a harder language to learn. The only language that's harder than Hungarians is Hungarians tell me that English is a mess. And it's just because one word means so many different words, right? And Shelley, thank you for getting on here. So once you made a decision on what language you wanted to learn, Deborah Grady says Italian, then how am I going to learn it? Am I going to watch YouTube videos for free? Am I going to find another site? Is there audios out there? Are there apps out there that I could learn from? Is there somebody that I could hire that would tutor me over Zoom? See, there's a lot of different ways and style that a person would start going after this. And then once you figured out the way that you wanted to, if that didn't work for you, couldn't you change? So you thought I'd be able to do it from an app. Well, I'm not doing that. So maybe I should get a tutor. I really don't like that. When I asked a tutor if they would teach me Italian, I can't believe that they actually want to teach me like a half hour a couple times a week. How dare them? You know what I mean? You guys are laughing, but it's like, well, that's the next point, right? So once you pick a way to learn a language, now you got to do it. It actually takes time to learn to do something. And you got to say, listen, I'm going to spend this amount of time and I'm going to do it and I'm not going to mess up. So now you get to look at your schedule where a lot of people say that they're just too busy. I'm too busy. I don't have any time. And now you're going to have to find time. We all can find time when there's something we want to do. I always say this statement all the time. It's hilarious that whether you know me or not, I see Eddie on here. I'm sure I know who he is. But if every one of you, if I did this, if I flew into your city and your local airport and I called you and left you a message and said, I just found out that my flight is canceled, so I'm going to have to spend the night here. Is there any way that we can go out to dinner and spend some time? How many of you would find time? How many of you, if you had something planned, would cancel the plans? See, it's like that kind of urgency makes you find the time if it's important to you. And so now you just little bit at a time. You just do a little bit at a time. And what's unique about learning a language or learning how to do a musical instrument or learning anything is Craig and I, before Terry and I and Craig were talking about the word called progress, progressive. And it's funny that a lot of people right now in the world are going, "Oh my God, that person's too progressive." So Craig and I do this all the time. As I tell people, why not just look up a definition of a word? And progressive means moving forward. So, well, what party are you? I'm in the moving forward party. But I've done this many times with my wife. You know what I mean? She goes, "Well, what is that all about?" And I said, "Well, that person's a liberal." And Terry goes, "That means nothing to me."
Gibberish.
Isn't it funny? And then because I always talk about being unique, right? The greatest miracle in the world is really, proclaiming your uniqueness. I find right now that there's a lot of people on the planet right now that if you ask them what party they're in, they won't tell you. And the reason they won't tell you is because they usually know a nutcase that's in that party that they don't want to be looked as that person. It's like, well, what kind of Democrat are you? What kind of Republican are you? What kind of independent are you? And it's like, it's really, really crazy, right? Now, as you make a decision to learn a new language, here's the thing that I find very interesting. You're excited that you're going to learn a language. You got the method that you're going to do. You now start putting together the time. And like I've said in Outwitting the Devil, by Napoleon Hill, you immediately, when you get a plan figured out to change the rest of your life, then it seems like there's a whole new universe that comes after you. And it's like you're learning, and then Deborah sits down and they go, "Well, what are you doing tomorrow?" And she says, "Well, I'm learning Italian." And they're going, "That's the worst language you could learn." And then Deborah goes, "Really? Really? But I wanted to do that." And well, why do you want to learn Italian? Well, this guy challenged me, and if I can prove to him within a year that I can have a conversation with someone in Italian, that he'll give me $1 million. You're such an idiot, Deborah. You just, you always find these cults, blah, 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 blah. I hope it isn't that Robert guy. You know what I mean? And so it's weird when we make decisions. I don't find it weird. It's just documented that when you decide to take a path and go on that path, now it's like the universe is challenging you. It's like, I don't believe you. The universe is going, I'll give you I'll get you to drift. I'll get you to give up. I'll get you to miss a couple of appointments. I'll get you to have people tell you that it's stupid. I seen a post, not that I believe it, but I think it's really good for what we're talking about here. But the whole thing is when you really plan something or you imagine something for you and your family that you're going to accomplish, it's okay to tell the universe, tell God, whatever, but don't tell people. And it's like, because they don't understand you. They don't understand why you're doing what you're doing. And so by sharing with other people what you're doing, then that gives them a reason to be a dream stiller. It's like, because they really can't see what you see. The definition of faith is speaking of things that are not as if they are. So if you're stepping into faith to do something that an average person wouldn't do, then you're going to find a lot of average people that say you're stupid, you shouldn't do it. How many of you noticed that throughout your life? You decide to be an entrepreneur or affiliate or independent contractor for some company, and now everybody goes, that's stupid. That's stupid. You shouldn't do that. No one makes any money. But that's a stupid statement. There's people that make money. It might be a small percent, but there's also people that make money skipping rocks. There's people that make money by stacking plastic cups, sharpening pencils. That's actually a video I want to do, Craig. Probably maybe even tomorrow, knitting like Deborah Grady. Is there so many people out there that just like they really, really believe that you can't earn income and make a lot of income. When, on Sunday, you guys know, Shelly always said, Sunday morning. And I don't remember if it was that or something else, but it just showed this kid that he said, he told his mom and dad, I need to make some extra money. I want to do something. And I don't remember what it is. And he's going, well, I need to find a way to make money. And his mom said, why don't you ask people if you can clean out their garbage bins? She says, we'll get a bucket and some soap and a big long brush. And you just say, hey, listen, would you mind if I clean your garbage bins? And so that's what he did so far during the summer. And then the guy asked him, well, if you don't mind that, let me asking, how much has you made? And he says, I made over $1,500. And as soon as the first person told him yes, that's where the dominoes always fall. You know what I mean? So you knock on the door and say, hey, do you know Lisa and Freddie? Down the road? Oh, yeah. I just cleaned their garbage bins. And I asked them who might want their garbage bins cleaned. And they said you. And it's like, oh my God, if Lisa and Marie and Freddie did it, I got to do it. And I don't know if you guys know this, but that was always a great story about Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban, people asked him all the time how he became successful. And he said it was like once a week, his dad would have a bunch of friends over uh, and they would play poker. And so he kept bothering them saying, hey, listen, I do you guys know how I can make some money? And I guess one of the friends said, well, I bought a container. You know what I mean? I bought one of these containers, at a container sale because someone never claimed it or never paid the taxes. There's a shipping on it. And when I opened up the container, it was full of garbage bags. It was just full of wrapped up garbage bags, brand new garbage bags that were made. And so he said, listen, I got a whole garage full of brand new garbage bags. Why don't you go door to door and sell them and I'll split the money with you? And Mark Cuban's great idea. Everybody needs garbage bags. And he said, I only asked the guy one question. And he's like, what do you think I should sell them for? And he says, well, at the store, you can buy them for this amount. So I would charge a little bit less. And he goes, that's the way I made income for months, door to door selling garbage bags. Can you imagine just saying to somebody, hey, do you use garbage bags? Yeah. You know what I mean? Well, I can give you garbage bags for less money. It's like, doesn't that sound like a no-brainer? And then, of course, what he says is he goes, I was amazed how many people didn't want to buy garbage bags from me. Because that's just the way it is. When we get involved in anything, is who wouldn't want to buy garbage bags? It's like a lot of people. But he says, I never thought about those. I just thought about all of them that gave me money and took the garbage bags. And so now to talk really quickly about the next part is just get in where you fit in. Again, it's like looking at that whole concept of it being too big. When people look at it, they go, we're going to create a bunch of new positions for people to get. It's fun being creative, but I don't know if this name is going to change, but it's going to be called Inner Circle Plus. Like, help me, love. Paramount Plus.
Oh, Paramount Plus.
Amazon Plus. Look at you guys all laughing, right? So what it is, instead of $49 to be involved in the inner circle, if a person decides to buy it for a year, that would be called Inner Circle Plus, and the plus would be that you get to do a Zoom with me, you get to ask me questions for anytime you want, but we'll add the plus stuff in on it. So when people see like something like that is $497, they're going to go, oh my God, I can't do that. Hi, Matt. And so they're not going to go, well, listen, I can't afford to do this. And Matt even told me that, Stripe, as we come up with other things, the shopping cart Stripe will give you ways to be able to pay payments on stuff. So there's a lot of other stuff that's out there. And so again,
Oh,
when
there
you
you go.
talk, go ahead, Matt.
No, no. What's your? I just hopped in here. I just got off with Suzanne Charlton. She's amazing.
Okay.
But no, I'm just getting caught up. So catch me up. What are we talking about? Stripe?
No problem whatsoever. Craig came up with the great idea, and we're dedicating that for Craig. But Craig had a good subject, was get in where you fit in. So I'm just starting
Yeah.
on that part because at the beginning I just talked about a lot of people go, "What do I do? How do I start?" And so that's what I've been talking about for the last 20
So,
minutes.
yeah. So I have a solution for that. There's a 7 day step by step thing that I'm building out for your first week in Unlimited Wisdom, and you're all going to start it at the same time, as well as any new members you bring in. And this is kind of like I'm calling it the Wisdom Path. Very catchy.
Nice,
But
nice.
it's very like involved and step by step. So instead of it being like you just get dropped in, it teaches you how to do each action, right? And then you get rewarded. So it's like
Nice.
now here's how you comment on a post. Here's what training you should watch. And that's through 7 days, so it's not overwhelming. Now, can you do all 7 days in one day? Yes, you can. I'm not going to limit you by doing that. But
Is there any way
it's
I can
built.
get a badge or something if I do that?
Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah. And by the way, this is coming out with the testimonial thing, which also has an achievement and badge tied to it. So
Nice, nice.
by sending in a testimonial, you guys will soon see on the main Unlimited Wisdom sales page or the main page, there's going to be a running ticker with approved testimonials. And when you guys put them in there, all it takes is for me, my dad, or Craig to approve it. You're already on the homepage talking about how great, and you get an achievement and points for it too. So
Excellent.
super appreciate you guys for everybody that's already been doing that, sending them in. I just thought, hey, probably be easier if I made a page to do it. So, and
Perfect. Perfect.
then I
Thank
heard
you.
you talking about get in where you fit in with Stripe. Yes, you could do payment plans with Stripe. They have like Affirm, Klarna, and of course they take any credit card, any bank stuff. And if you don't trust Stripe, then I don't know who to trust. But
I
it's
think I thought I heard where Stripe surpassed PayPal.
I hope so. I mean,
I
that's the
don't
thing. Is like I
yeah.
was invoicing people when I would do work through PayPal, and then the last invoice that I did was like for $600 or something, and they held it for like 2 weeks, and then I had to wait. And so I just started up stuff with Joel Arias, and since I just started that up, I'm like, let's do it through Stripe this time. And
Yeah.
Stripe even was nice enough to take the taxes for me, so that's good.
Very cool. Very cool.
No, I mean that's a pro. That's a pro. Every single transaction you guys do through Stripe helps us because then I don't have to put money away for taxes. Stripe just takes the money, pays the taxes. So
I always thought that online sales were no taxes for them.
they are if you don't set it up. I have it set up to take the taxes out of Stripe because I don't want to deal with it. So at the
Uh,
end of the year, they're going to give us documentation, and it will already have the number that has already gone to taxes that we just get to give to our CPA and go,
Very
this is the
cool.
amount we've already paid in taxes, and this is the amount we owe. So
Well, thank you,
gonna be
Matt.
millions probably.
Without a doubt. So yeah, so the place where we got we just finished off our wisdom council. You know what I mean? So we got all the people that we did that little small thing for the wisdom council. That's closed out, and so then what the next thing is would be the inner circle plus, what we just talked about. And then, of course, the monthly on the $49, that's just being part of the inner circle. And then the next position is is it $10 or 9.97, Matt?
It's 9.97.
Okay. So
It
for
could be $10 if you
9.97,
want it to be.
yeah, we'll leave it at 9.97. So the 9.97 on a monthly basis allows people to get on the videos that we do live. If they're a freebie and they're in there for free and just working their part up, to find a way to get to $10 to get on live, then they can just watch all the replays. So you guys will see that Craig does an incredible job at not only letting us know when the next live is, but also he puts the replay in there and everything for that. So those are the decisions, but always understand that as we go through this, we're always going to, right before I jumped on here, I seen Matt put a whole thing where for each and every one of you, again, I don't know how we're going to stay ahead of Melody, and I don't mind saying that right now. If you guys look at the leaderboard, Melody finished off our first year in Unlimited Wisdom, Untouchable, in number one, and now she's in Unlimited Wisdom now and our new platform, and she's like crushing it. And I think Coach Bob is second, isn't he? I don't remember.
Sandy is now in second place.
Who is?
Sandy Baker.
Well, Coach Bob takes
Good for you,
naps.
Sandy.
We've noticed that. So,
Well, let's see. I'm looking at it, and
We all need them.
what'd you say, Matt?
No, I was just saying, like we'll have to. It's fun because there's going to be a couple of things that are going to exist in the new levels, and I was kind of going over that a little bit with AI and with Craig and my dad before we got on here. But man, when I think of somebody hitting like level 20 in the community and the amount of points that I'm going to make that take, we're going to start adding really cool shit in there, like sending you merch, doing things like that, because
Awesome.
to hit those levels, if you guys thought the first 9 were like long, wait till you see how many points I do the next 10, 11. Like I'm going to go hardcore on it, but I'm also going to add a lot of more stuff into the site to make it easier to understand points, get points, things like that. But it's funny, right? Because I've sat down on meetings with people and went, even with Joel, because I was just on a meeting with him earlier, and he's got this whole trading community that he started, and I'm going to help him build it. And I'm going, we should do leaderboards with points. And he's like, I don't know if I really like that. And I log into Unlimited Wisdom, and I'm like, okay, look at this though. I show everybody like doing the points and everything. He's like, okay, I get it now. I'm like, no, like you don't understand.
Well, you've been telling me.
Sandy
You've been
passes
telling.
Bob. Bob's now going to get on there and do more. Maybe people normally won't sometimes, but a majority of people will. I don't want to
Right.
be.
what's interesting is
Yeah.
that Sandy has only been in, according to this, on 8 days. She is, it looks like about less than 900 points behind Melody. And then Bob is in third, about 300 points ahead or behind Sandy. There we go. There's our list as of right now. Of course, this could change. So right now,
What's
your
that?
top 5 are Melody, Sandy, Coach Bob, Deborah Grady, and Lisa Marie.
We got some huge streaks there too.
Yeah,
I keep losing my streak because I don't know why. I'm just
you're
busy, I
kind
guess.
of
Because you're
busy.
busier than most of us.
Yeah, because you're building an empire. That's why.
No, I still shouldn't lose my streak. It makes me here's the weird thing though. I shouldn't even say this. I'm like, I could be one of the people that never loses it. No, I'm just kidding.
That's funny.
I'm just messing around, guys.
And
I'm
then
not gonna get my
Matt
god
figures
complex
out.
going too hard.
Matt tells Athena or Blue, it's like, can you just put like 612 points for me every day? Just
No, legit, it could do that. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing too. Is you gotta with great power comes great responsibility. That's the saying. It's like I have I have the ability now to make things disappear and appear whenever I
Cool.
want.
Well, I'm going to let you guys go. This is Matt. Thanks a lot for jumping on here, but I hope this helps. And of course, what Matt talked about is, jumping in. And also, I just wanted to make an announcement. What I'm going to do from now on is always at the top of the hour. So that would be 2 o'clock, 3, 4 o'clock Eastern time, 1 o'clock Pacific. I'm going to start jumping on Facebook and doing lives. I've told you guys that I'm going to do it forever. And I mean, I've been going to do it forever, but now I'm doing it. And so I'll jump from that platform to another platform to another platform. And it's pretty interesting because when I did it yesterday, I said I was going to go live on the platforms. And I know this is a huge jump for some of you if you wanted to do it for whatever you're doing. But I knew that we had like 90. We had like 90 people in Unlimited Wisdom. And so apparently the lives work pretty good because, I got up this morning and it was like 102. You know what I mean? So It's
No,
you know,
there's that admin spot dad that you can see every new person that joins. I don't know if
yeah,
I'll show it to you. But yeah, it's super cool. And then I've been watching it. You know, you did the live yesterday. I think we had 6 or 7 new free people join.
right.
And one thing that I could do is have the live room pull from the other lives as well that you go live on. So like anybody in the community would know when you're live on Facebook or when you're live on YouTube or when you're live
Oh wow.
here or there. It would give us one central spot that everybody could just stay on. So when you hop platforms, they don't have to hop platforms with you.
Yeah.
And then another aspect of it too, obviously, and I pitched this to you, of course, but it's like you just go live on all of them at the same time
Yeah.
is another option. So we'll figure it out. We're
Yep.
brainstorming in front of you guys. So
Yeah, I plan on going. I'm going to step out a little more today, so I'm going to start out on Facebook, then go, then I'm not going to do anything in the group anymore. You know, there's 40,000 people in that group, but hey, it's dead. Thank you, thank you, Facebook.
Mark
And
Zuckerberg.
it doesn't seem like I'm getting anything. I'm going to do another one, but I'll just do them back to back. I'll just go to my personal Facebook page, then my corporate, which is Robert Hollis Senior. And for now, I'll just leave messages in that Telegram. But after I get done doing my live on my corporate, I'm going to do a live on YouTube, and just go on there and rant away. You know, maybe I can get Terry to say a couple of things.
I'll do it.
I always can get Terry to say a couple of things. But I'm going to push myself. I'm going to lead by example. A lot of people always want to know what it takes to be successful. And, you know, you guys know that I like to strip everything out and just get down to the bottom line. For me personally, if I just believe and have faith that if I speak, the people that have ears will hear, it's worked that way for my whole entire career. It's like it doesn't seem like anybody ever hears you or finds out about you when you never ever do anything. You know, the joke used to be before there was online stuff. The joke was, you know, people just don't walk up to your door and knock on your door, and then you answer it, and they go, hey, Dustin, do you happen to have any opportunities that you're offering right now? Are you selling any product that I could buy? It's just like, but
It's the opposite.
yeah, so it is funny that we did talk a little bit about Mark Cuban and, you know, going door to door. Well, we live in a day and time where there's billions of people online, but again, if you're not going to constantly step out there and share, you know, what's on your heart, then and that's what people do. I think the biggest problem that people are doing right now is what they're doing. It's not what I think. I know is what they're doing is they're not coming from their heart, and they're trying to get people's money by getting them involved in a business or sell them product. And I just know that I know that I know the world is done with that. And the reason that they're done with it is all the social medias that used to be social turned into nothing but sales. You know, talking to Corky, I talked to Corky for a little bit. And it's like when all of a sudden everybody started jumping on TikTok doing shorts to sell stuff, it's totally destroyed his community. You know what I mean? Because people are on there and TikTok's trying to make money, and now they're owned by a lot of capitalists that live in the United States. And so they keep interrupting. Corky said that he's done lives where people, while they're watching his live, get interrupted by someone selling something.
Way.
Yeah. And we already know Facebook and Instagram and all these other networks. I mean, it's just ridiculous how many advertisements there are out there. So if Facebook can make sure and Instagram can make sure that they put their stuff in front of their members instead of getting your stuff in front of them, doesn't that just make sense? But so
You know,
yeah,
isn't it crazy? That's every platform, by the way. Like
yeah, it is.
you're about to go live on Facebook. I mean, realistically, I was talking to Suzanne before, and I said we're moving very close to a place where the only way to get people is either by referral or by paid advertising. People
Right.
don't realize that, right? Like these platforms have every incentive to stop when you're trying to sell something now from happening on their platform. And why wouldn't they? You know what I mean?
Right.
If you're pitching leave the site in any way, Facebook's going, I think, in the future going to penalize leaving the site in any way,
Yeah.
right?
Do you guys know?
Like X
Get
does this
this.
already, actually.
Get this. Corky Santa, while he's talking and sharing with everyone, if he says a website or shows a picture on his phone, if he shows them, he loses all of his audience while he's live. So he could just say, hey, by the way, a really good friend of mine and his son Matthew just started a new platform called unlimitedwisdom.com. And it would immediately, it's like saying a cuss word. Instead of it getting out, they would just they would just stop delivering it to a majority of his audience and they just disappear.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Bob said, "How does that happen?" I mean, now the cool and sad thing
With
is
their
it took,
with their AI, Bob.
yeah. Well, it's like before, if you think about who owns TikTok, ByteDance owns TikTok, so it's not a surprise to me. And I even warned Corky and like a bunch of people. I'm like, I believe that what they've done or made at least the decision to do, and I think there'll be a new platform at some point that exists for creators that aren't AI specific, or live streamers too, because they've bet all on AI. If you looked at Facebook's quarterly report and the last months before, they're almost in the red now. They put every profit that they've made in the last quarter into AI.
Wow.
Every profit. So Meta just announced Muse, and then the other day, yesterday, they came out with Glimmer, which is their lightweight version of that. Do I believe that Glimmer is running on Instagram and Facebook in the background of all stuff at all times? Absolutely. Do they have the compute for it? More than enough.
Yeah.
If they've got enough to train models, they got enough to run them. That's for sure.
Right.
And so the reality is that a lot of these platforms, unless if you're an entertainer, like they're not going to want you selling on them anymore without paying them, right? And so there's going to be this weird in between where it's like you said with Corky, that's now going to exist with Facebook videos too. That's now going to exist with Instagram videos too. So when you go live and you start talking about unlimited wisdom, it's going to go, nah, we're not going to push this to anybody else. And
Yeah,
it's
Coach Bob, do you know
it's
that?
unfortunate,
Like,
but that's
do
just
you
the
know, like when
platforms, right?
you know when you watch a lot of shows that have live shows, a lot of people don't know this, but because they do it on sports too. But we're watching what we believe is live, but it's a delay. And they do that because you don't realize that an athlete could walk up to the camera and say a cuss word or
When the
something
delay
like
has to be
that.
milliseconds.
Yeah,
And
so
every live
they
stream carries a delay.
yeah, so they have this delay, and the delay is also there if someone did something they shouldn't or showed something they
Right.
shouldn't, right? So the delay's there. But the delay is also set up for people like Corky that if they promote anything that would instruct a person to leave TikTok.
Right.
So if he's on there and he's going, I just love you guys. And oh, by the way, I got a friend of mine that can help you out with SEO and websites. His name is Coach Bob, and you can go to coachbob.com. It's delayed. They'll never hear the coachbob.com, and they just disconnect their audience.
That's been part of radio for a very long time. I used to have, when I was working on a talk station, they had what they call a dump button. It's a nice red button that was right off
Oh,
to
yeah.
the right side. And if you heard a word, if you heard one of the four-letter words or the words that you can't say on television, thank you, George Carlin, you had to press
Yeah, thank
that
you.
dump button, and it would cut. It's about a 7-second delay. And then once you press that dump button, it's going to take the system backing itself up again to come back into the 7-second delay. So it just, that's been around for a long time. It's kind of interesting
And of
how
course,
they're
when
now
I said-
using
Yeah.
it.
And
But
of course,
but
when
you
I
couldn't
sit
do
down,
it.
when I sit downstairs, I can hear Terry watching TV upstairs, and they just replace that delay with a beep. So whatever she's watching upstairs, I hear beep beep, beep 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 beep. beep beep
Oh
beep
yeah,
beep
well,
beep
Sometimes
beep
they do
beep.
that just to
I
make
have
sure the
no idea
context
what
is
she's
there.
this is why
watching,
you
but
watch your shows on Hulu and Netflix where they don't bleep them anymore.
Peacock,
Yeah.
man. Peacock. Oh,
Yeah,
my house.
but no, in general, you guys, we're moving towards a place where you have to think the amount of money, the insane amount of money that all of these companies are dumping into AI is more money than it would take. I mean, honestly, like, and a lot of them are doing it for moderation and creation. So when I first sat down with Corky and some of the other TikTok people that he's connected with, I immediately went, TikTok's owned by ByteDance. I use CDance. It clearly was trained on all of your guys' content. Now think about it this way. Like I said in the group the other day, so they create and facilitate the place. They don't create any of the content, but they host it. Long term, it looks like a dumb idea. Now, every single one of these places, whether it was YouTube or TikTok, had billions of pieces of content to train a video AI on that nobody else had and would have to pay for, especially Google and YouTube, right? And same with TikTok. So it didn't surprise me that Google and ByteDance were the two front runners for video generation because they have video platforms. Now, what's the next step? Well, they're not subservient to anybody, including governments. So all they have to do is grab the dial and switch it one direction. You won't know, but they know. And when they switch that dial and it 2 times their income, they're going to keep doing that over and over and over again. And eventually it's going to break and it's only going to be in one direction. And that's going to be the profitable one. So they're balancing it right now between not upsetting every single person that's on the platform and feeding them as much AI generated content as possible that they're generating themselves as well to facilitate ad revenue that they don't have to pay anybody for. And that's the same with YouTube. So YouTube just they just basically just doubled all of the stats that you have to hit to get monetized on YouTube. And then one of the stats that was super bad for anybody is you have to maintain to be monetized and get paid for shorts on YouTube now. You have to do 10 million hits a month on your views for your shorts. If you don't hit 10 million a month, you don't get any money for your shorts. Wow. So now we're talking about, and on top of that, okay, if I'm posting shorts, they hit me with inauthentic content and demonetized my account. Now that ban has gone out to a lot of people, right?
right.
I probably was one of the. Here's a crazy thing, right? We were over at a friend's house. And we were talking about giant squids, right? And so they pull up YouTube on their TV, and they're like, "There's this new giant squid video," and they type in giant squid, and I kid you guys not, the second video on there was my video. And it's so funny. I'm like, I bet if you put shark in, it's way worse.
Yeah.
But why will users even post videos anymore? I think the same reason people don't make shit anymore themselves. It's easier to consume stuff than it is to make stuff.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's like, well, why wouldn't someone build a fence themselves? Why would they get somebody to do that? Well, it's a pain in the ass to build a fence. You got to go get the parts. You got to do all the stuff, all the hard labor. That's content creation. And now that it's becoming super easy that you can just sit at your computer and do it in your house, you know, they're going to pay you less for that and then train the next set of algorithm off that and then replace you completely. That's the goal. Because they don't need creators. They don't. And
Crazy.
if you think Mark Zuckerberg gives a shit about the creators in comparison to, you know, he lays off 8,000 people like it's nothing. So,
and look at his hair. What a d-bag.
with poor leadership skills. Like, I think I'll say this on record. I think Mark Zuckerberg arguably is like one of the worst CEOs to like ever be in the tech space. If he didn't nail 2 things, if he didn't nail Facebook when he did, and right place, right time, and the acquisition of WhatsApp and Instagram, those 3 things were smart business decisions. Everything outside of that, the dude just burns through fucking money like no tomorrow, with no end in sight. So you'll have a Chinese company that will show up with 5 people and beat all of Meta that spends billions of dollars because they're that mismanaged. It's insane to me. But that's the death by 1,000 cuts I'm excited about, is that Meta's freaking out right now because they can't produce something that 5 dudes in a garage can produce.
Right.
In China. Not here, but
Well, thanks, Matt. So have a great day, you guys, and we'll see you on the next Daily Wisdom. I love and appreciate you. Thank you, Matt, for jumping on. I know you're busy. I always love learning from you. And thank you, Shelley, Mary, Melody, Dustin, Deborah, Michael, and Angela, Coach Bob, my lovely wife Terry, and the hostess with the mostest, Craig Jackman. Love you guys. Have a great day. Bye for now.
Thanks, guys. Love and appreciate you. Glad I was able to make it.